Hi, my name is Ndung'u. Welcome to my channel. If it is your very first time to be here, karibu sana. If you are a returning subscriber, I love you, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming back. Today we are talking about something very interesting, and I'm sure it will transform your life. We are talking about, are you really prepared for marriage? Are you really prepared for that relationship? And what can you do to stay prepared? Karibu sana and enjoy. What is preparedness? I know it's being ready for something. So when you're going for a job interview, the first thing you do is you just take time, do your due diligence to make sure that you know what the company deals about, make sure that you're very acquainted with what maybe some of the questions that might be asked in the interview. Why? Because you want to make sure that when you go for that interview, that job becomes yours, okay? The same thing, ladies, when we're going out, you want to look nice, you want to look presentable. When you're going for a function, when you're going for example, if right now you got a call from KTN and they are calling you for an interview, you will want to look nice. If your hair is not well done, you will go maybe do your hair, you will do something here and there. If you've been given a particular topic or something that you guys are going to talk about, you want to research more, you want to make sure that, am I really equipped for this that is coming, for what is going to happen, for maybe the questions that will be asked. If it is a panel kind of thing, you want to make sure that, I am at least aware in case just anyone from the audience asks me a question about something, at least I am aware. If it is a niche, maybe it is the area that you have studied, you're better off because at least you know. So if it is asked, it doesn't come as a surprise. The same thing with marriage, the same thing with relationships. Most of us are really rushing into marriage, rushing into relationships, but we're not prepared. We have been told over and over again, please read books about marriage. Make sure that you are learning, that you're equipping yourself, and it is good. But the honest truth is, I feel like sometimes when we are doing books, we forget that there is really the real life experiences. These books are nice. One thing that I promised myself is that I will make sure that I see everything I can from the experience of other people. So when people are writing books, mostly they're writing because there's something that they learned, there's something they've gone through, and it has taught them. And you see, when you read this book, it helps you to understand one or two things about something, and that is good. So please, if you're a single person, invest in books. If you are desiring to get married, maybe you're dating right now, make sure you just learn one or two things, invest, learn about marriage, the institution itself, I usually tell my friends and people that I really interact with, marriage is for life. And let's not look at it from the point of, in case things go sour, we can actually divorce and it's okay, because that is how our generation and the way things are working now. But look at it from a point of, I can't get out. When I'm getting in 100%. There's no turning back for me, because I want my marriage to work. I want my relationship to go somewhere. I want my marriage to mean something, not just to me, but also to people around me. I want my children to have a stable family, a stable setup in a house where we have the mother and the father, and they're not they're not in the marriage just for the sake of it. They're actually happy in the marriage. Invest time, invest yourself, your emotional self, your psychological self. Are you psychologically prepared for this institution? Are you mentally prepared for this institution? Because there's a lot that has to do with marriage. We usually say that marriage is a lifetime. That's why you make vows of, until death do you guys part. And it should mean something to you. It means that when I say yes to this particular one person, I have to live with them until death. And that can come earlier than expected, it can come later, but you need to really make sure that you sip the good out of everything that your marriage is bringing, out of the good that your spouse is bringing. And for that to happen, you really need to be prepared. The one thing that I see in a lot of young people and myself, even before I got into marriage, I thought I was prepared. I had read books here and there. I had gone for single seminars where you're taught, how to live as a single person, even as you're waiting to transition. If you're in dating, how you're supposed supposed to date and just make it, because it was a chat setup, and how to maintain the holiness in the relationship and all those things. And there's what you learn. But the honest truth is, when you come down to the institution itself, there's a lot that we actually don't talk about. When we're talking about the sexual matters, there are things about sex itself that we don't really know, that we don't really take time to sip into, that really affects us when you get into the institution. Things like familiarity. You've already started living with this person, the honeymoon stage is over, no more a lot of sex, or there's really not a lot of time, because of course the time you had maybe gone for your honeymoon, now you're back into real life, you're all busy, things are just happening, cycles, things are just coming and going, and then the next minute there is babies, and the babies are taking your time, and you have to juggle all these things. So of course, a lot of us don't really psychologically put ourselves in that space and just analyze everything, and even just to know what to expect, okay? And I think that is a level of preparedness that we need to be in. When I was younger, everyone around my time, when people were getting babies and getting married, I was just excited for them. But the one thing I knew is that I was really not ready for marriage. I was not ready to submit myself to someone. And that really helped me. And I thank God that I really didn't rush into marriage when I was younger. Because I felt like I am not ready. I don't feel like I can commit for a lifetime now. Let me just do 1, 2, 3 things with my life before this person comes, and then everything else changes. Because when they come, my life, whether I like it or not, will revolve around him and the babies we will make and everything. Knowing that, I was not in that space. And really, that really helped me out, because of course, even the people that were coming and just proposing marriage at the time, I would be like, no, I'm not ready. And sometimes, when you're saying no to people, they think that you're saying no because you're trying to look for a person that doesn't really exist. Because I remember at some point, people were asking me, Marion, I really want to see the man you will marry, because unajua, you're very you're very hard to get. You have said no to a lot of men, and we really don't know what your type is. And I was like, you know what? I don't think it is about type. It is about, of course, even the season and the timing. And if you're that person that has been saying no, not because that people that are coming are bad, it's because the season is not, you feel like it's not really your season, and people don't get that. So of course, let's make sure that it's your right season. So let's get back to just being prepared. The one thing that I know now that I wish someone would have told me is that everything in terms of just how you live prepares you for marriage, and you should be very, very self-cautious. And this is the one thing that I was, especially for you men, because you are the pace setters, you are the lead, you are the head in the relationship. I will give an example using my husband, because of course he's the one person that I can really use freely without being scared and afraid. So my husband was a party person, not really in terms of going out, but just living life, and he was dating a lot. And the one thing that he used to do was just make sure that when he's dating, he will take the girl out, he will invest in terms of just making sure that they have a good time, and that he's giving his 100%. But the problem was, he was not investing in his life, because all the money that he would get that would be spare, he would use it with his girlfriend at the time, and such and such. So by the time we were getting into marriage, we were not really, both of us, prepared for it. Because of course, when he was dating, his way of dating was, when I get money and I get extra, it's for spending and for us, for going out and for having fun. Now we are married. We need to put proper systems in our marriage, and to make sure that our marriage really has something. Okay, we need to talk about maybe saving and investments and all that. And now it's no longer getting money to go and take it outside and just have fun. It's now sitting down, looking at what are we having, and can we really invest this money, or what can it do for us so that we can build a future. And most of you men, I know when you're single, you want to have fun, you want to go out, you want to do all these things, but I really need to help us in this place, okay? You really need to prepare yourself. I know that you are saying you're not ready right now for marriage, but you see, what you're doing now will affect your 10 years to come, will affect your 5 years to come, because whatever you're doing now reflects on in the future. remember, if you're going to do your marriage right, if you're going to start with something like a wedding, you will need money saved up, maybe to do the whole wedding and everything. And also to take your person for a honeymoon somewhere for 3 days, 5 days, a week or something. So you need money. And this is something that really we need to know. And marriage does not begin from just the wedding. You see, we have the we have the traditional wedding where you're buying your girl, giving bride price to the parents, and that also costs you money. And one thing, please men, do not allow people to contribute money to give you your bride price, because there's a level that there's a level of familiarity that comes in because people have helped you to just get that girl. So if it is possible, start saving early. Make sure whatever you have, even if it is little, and maybe you're going for the bride to do your bride price, find a way of how you can just buy your girl for yourself. If you don't have the money, go and talk to the parents, give what you have, and then maybe you can continue giving. Dowry is a lifetime affair. You will notice that in our African setup, we have a list of a lot of things that are written for you that make you grounded, because you see, two families are coming together. So you will continue paying the bride price for as long as you guys are together, and maybe for as long as the parents are alive of the lady. So you can't pay everything at once. But I noticed that there's a specific, maybe a number in terms of just finances that you need to give, maybe for you to be given permission for you guys to do the wedding, or there are a certain number of goats or something. But then of course the list is a lot of things that you will just be doing pole pole as time goes by. So know that you need to invest as early as now. You're single, you do not have anyone. There's no one that you're dating. But are you preparing yourself? Preparation starts earlier than that. And it's not about reading books. In church, we're talking about being in the place of service so that someone can see you, and it is nice. But I was asking myself, my husband and I did not come from the same church, and I was serving in church, and I had been serving. But how would he have located me in the place of service, yet he did not come to my church, and there was no way that he would ever even step foot in our church, because our everything was different. We were in two different worlds. And it is okay. I will not say that service is not one of those ways. Continue serving, but give your service unto the Lord. Let God know that you're serving, but don't go in the place of service because you're looking for a spouse. It is fallacy, because of course that means you're just parading yourself and you will stop. But when it comes from the heart, from your inner person, like, I am serving God, I am not doing this because I want a man. I'm not doing this because I want a woman to know that I can actually preach, I can actually serve in church. No, I am doing this because I love the Lord. I am a single person and my service is unto the Lord. That is good. Continue. Don't stop. But as we even serve in church and as we do all these things, are we really prepared? You know, when we came together, the other thing I noticed is that what we had, what did you have in your home? What did I have in my home? We brought it together and we formed our home, okay? If you have seats, if you have gas, if you have a bed, such things are really important. And it's also one way of just preparing yourself. What do you have? What are you investing? You know, do not just invest all your time and energy and money on the wrong things, okay? Start like knowing that at the end of the day, even if I don't have a person now, even if I don't have a relationship now, it is coming, and at the end of the day, my desire is to marry or to get married. So when I'm doing things, even in my house, when I'm moving out from my mom's house, going to live alone, I am doing consciously, knowing that, you know what, I can get a wife, I can get a husband anytime from now. So forever, always be prepared. Men, when you're buying things for your house, you know, look at the end goal. And there's something that someone told me when I was single, and it really hit hard, and I thank God that they told me. They told me, when you're buying things for your house, buy as if you are not going to buy again, especially for you men. I'm just speaking mostly to the men. Why? Because sana the things that you have in your house are the ones we will use. They will expect you as the man to have everything figured out, and it is better if you invest earlier, so that when you get into marriage, you don't have to start now, you get get the pressure to now buy everything. Start small. Don't be in a hurry, because we have said we are preparing ourselves. So when you're preparing, even if you will start in that bed sitter, buy a bed that actually in your head you're thinking, you know what, if something happens and I get married, this bed can work for us. Because sometimes we don't necessarily want to have, if you are lucky, you will find the family that you're marrying from, they will buy a bed for you. But you see, it's better if you have your own. Yeah, because you need to be prepared. Don't expect that the gifts that will come will sustain you guys. You need to take care of yourselves. So when you're doing such things, buy with that revelation that, you know what, I'm buying and I'm investing for my family, even if I don't have one now, okay? When you're dating, don't spend all your money on your relationships and on your girlfriends, especially when you know that that relationship is going nowhere. There's something that my husband tells me that is important, and I usually sit down and I'm like, oh my God. Then us girls, when we were dating, we were just in our own world. Because he told me, when men you are dating, you already know that this relationship will end up in marriage or not. So sometimes you're just dating the girl because you just want to date her. She's nice, she's beautiful, you like her, but you know that she's not your wife, and you know that you will not marry her. And some of you men know that, and I don't know if it's for everyone or it's for him, but if all of you men are in that space, you know that I'm dating this person and I won't marry them, then why are you investing a lot of time? I would also ask the question, why are you even dating them in the first place? But you know what? We can't get to those things. Let's just be practical on where this person is not my end-term goal. I am dating them because maybe I like them. I like the idea of having them in my life. Or maybe I really, really fell in love with them, but I knew that I was not going to marry them. Or maybe at the time you guys are dating, the marriage thing is not in the picture. So whatever your cup of tea is, I really, really don't know. But be prepared. Start preparing earlier on, okay? So that when marriage comes, when proposals are happening, you're not worried, because already there's what you've already been doing, yeah? There's the reading of books, there's the going of seminars, and you're learning the psychological bit and the emotional bit and the mental bit. But of course, even on the physical, in terms of just making sure that the material part is sorted, you're good. You're in that bed sitter, but of course, make sure you have a very good, beautiful bed that you guys can work with. When you're buying furniture, buy the best. Take your time, invest kidogo, buy a good furniture for yourself, because you might not buy again. So when you're buying, buy a good one, that in case that you marry tomorrow, in case something happens, you marry in 2 weeks or 3 months, you already have something figured out. And you see, the advantage of preparing early is the fact that when you're dating and you're in that place of spending money with the dowry payments, with the wedding, you're not so worried, because in the first place, at least when this lady comes, we already have a place we can stay. Okay. A lot of challenges happen there when you're not prepared as a man, because then again, this woman maybe will start, even from the onset, they will start being the ones dictating how the relationship will be, because either they are doing well off than you, they are more stable than you. And stability, sometimes it's not about having $1 billion in the bank. Stability is sometimes even the way you think. It's in the way you make your investments. There's something that someone told me, marry a man with a vision. And that is, I think, stability for a lady. When I know that, you know what, we are working towards something. This is what my husband proposed to me as what we are working towards. We don't have the money. He does not have the money, but that is what we're working towards. So when we're even coming together and marrying, we are working towards something. That for me is stability enough. It is not about just getting the wealth. It is good. If you have it, congratulations. If you found someone who has money, congratulations. There are things at least you guys will not have to go through. But if he does not have money, doesn't mean that he can get money. There are many ways of creating money, but are you a visionary? Do you know even what you want as a man? Preparedness. Stay in that place of preparedness. It is not about having the best designer suits. It is not about looking nice. It is not about how you articulate words. It is stability in terms of, are you visionary? Do you know where you're taking this lady when they come to your life? You know, when they ask you, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? At least have something going on. Tell them, you know what, I am desiring, I am working on, and that is my end goal. I want my family to have that. I want my children to go maybe to an international school. And you know, right now, you're living in the ghettos. Right now, you're not as stable, but you have a vision. That is another thing. It's another way of being prepared. Be prepared, guys. Guys, be prepared. Men, please prepare yourselves. Ladies want men that are really prepared, okay? So you be prepared. The other thing in terms of just preparing yourself, you know that sex is one of these places that we usually talk about it a lot, but not we don't really understand it. When men are looking for wives, in your head you think that you will have sex all the time, you know, because especially for us that are in the church setup and you're told maintain holiness, sex is not good. And when you get into marriage and then sex happens, you're like, okay, I need to have sex all the time, because unajua, before now, it was a no-go zone. Yeah, mentally, women, we have been told sex is not good for us that are in the church setup. Sex is bad for you. When you get into marriage, in your head, you already know that sex is bad. So when you're having sex, you're not even having fun, you're not enjoying it, because in your head it is bad. And then maybe you get a man who has a lot of sexual appetite, and then you see the devil. You're like, you are possessed, you have the spirit of lust. But you see, it is also in that place. You need to be prepared. Know that when you're getting into marriage, your body does not belong to you, it belongs to your husband. Your husband's body belongs to you. So it is for you guys to understand and to know each other. The Bible speaks of when one man and woman were coming together to have sex for them to get a baby. The Bible talks about they knew each other. And knowing, sex is that place of knowing your spouse. It is the one place, it is the one thing that all of us do not understand. We just say, you know, body parts interacted, you know, something, maybe if possible, the product was found. But sex is more spiritual than we think. And I'm talking about that in the next topic, where we will just discuss about sex and just how you use sex to get things done. And we will talk about it deeper. But then women, I need us to prepare ourselves. I have struggled with that. I just turned 3 years in my marriage. And at first, in the beginning, when the honeymoon season was happening, sex wasn't an issue, because of course it is honeymoon. And you're having sex all the time, and any time is sex time, okay? And then you get and you stay kidogo in your marriage, and you start feeling, this is a bit too much. You want sex a lot. So what is the problem? What is happening? And the thing is, because the voice that we have been told in church, sex is good, sex is bad, I think it starts now to like just hit you. And then when it hits you, you connect sex to lust, and lust to the person that you're married to. And instead of you guys working towards maybe whatever it is that you're working towards, now you create problems for yourselves. So I need us to be psychologically prepared also for marriage. Sex is not bad, guys. Sex is good. It is only bad when you're having it at the wrong time. And I think that church people, you guys need to really tell us the truth, that you know what, sex is not bad. Sex is created by God. It was given to us as a gift in marriage. So if you're not yet married, please abstain for your own sake, because the Bible still says it is the one sin that you sin against yourself when you're having sex outside marriage. You're sinning against your own self, against your own body. You defile yourself. So if you can abstain, and I know that it is hard, pray about it. God will help you through it. Abstain. If you've already introduced yourself into sex and you know it is hard for you to come out of it, pole, and ask the Holy Spirit to help you. And I know that He can actually strengthen you. One thing that we did with my spouse, and maybe you guys can actually talk about it, is if you guys are really maybe have been introduced to sex before marriage, you can decide you're not dating for long. Why? Because when you date longer, it means that you have a lot of opportunities to mess. But if you have maybe an issue, and don't rush into marriage because you're trying to cure lust. we talked about it. We said that lust cannot be cured in marriage. You need to deal with it. And if you've dealt with it, but you still feel that your body is hot and it's active, yeah, and you know that, you know what, for as long as I love this person and I can stay with them, I know that if we date for long, then again it will be an issue. You need to marry. You need to quicken the process and date for a shorter period, as long as you guys have already agreed and are on the same page. So you can date for shorter periods of time and then get married, so that you avoid maybe messing one another and messing the institution and beginning with the wrong foot. Okay, so that is another thing. So I was talking about preparedness mentally and psychologically. We need to know that when you get into marriage, sex is a guarantee. You need to have a lot of it. But also for men, just to help you, you know, you can't have sex all the time. What if this person is pregnant? When they get their baby, they need to take 6 months off or more than, or 3 months, let's say from 3 months for someone who has maybe had a natural birth. And what will you be doing for 6 months, for 3 months to 6 months? And maybe if they had complication, even longer without sex. Yet it is something that you know you are rushing to get into marriage to have. So you also need to be psychologically prepared. So get prepared in that area. The other thing that I think that a lot of us are not really prepared about when we get into marriage is dealing with our in-laws. We talk about it. We usually say that, you know what, our in-laws are not part of the nini. It is our new family we're beginning. But of course, they are part of the family. They are part of you. When I married my husband, Peter, I married him and his people. He's the priority, but I have to interact with his people, whether I like it or not. He has to interact with my people, whether he likes it or not. And ladies, I need us to also be in that space of knowing that, yes, we have our own marriage, but the people from his side and the people from your wife's side are part of your marriage. When they have an issue and they need a place to stay or something, you know, you will be obliged to help and all that. So it's something that you also need to be prepared about, that in case of anything happens, either that one of the parents gets sick and they need somewhere to stay and you are available, you know, you can host them. We talk about don't host anyone in the first year of marriage, but what if something happens and you really need to be there helping and supporting? So you really need to be prepared with such things. Know that there are things that will happen that will cause you guys to really be invested, and you need to invest. If you are an introvert, don't say, mimi hata siongeleshangi watu, so when I get married and I go to their family, I just sit and I just be. No, you need to take your time. You need to put your phone credit, call their parents, know how they are doing. Are they okay? And all that. There is putting the boundaries, but know that you're marrying into that family and you need to know them. You need to interact with them now and then. So you also need to be prepared for that particular part. Knowing that, you know what, now that I am a wife, I am married to Peter. I am submitted to Peter. Him alone is my husband. My focus is on him. And you know, and you really, really need to have that self-control. Because sometimes I think when we get into marriage, and for men, you are married to one person, but when you go out there, you're looking at all the assets that are portrayed out there. You're looking at all the titties that are shown out there. You're looking at the faces, the brown skin, the yellows, the who, and whatever else you call them. Yet you have someone at home that you said that I am forsaking all others for this one. So when you're making this commitment, please have it in your head that, you know what, I've said no to everything and everyone else because I am focused on, I have said no to every other man. It is only this one. I am focused here. We need to build here. And by saying that, I'm not saying that you will not see other people that are cuter than your spouse, that are handsome than your spouse, that are more beautiful than your spouse. They are there. But because you've already decided that you're dealing with this particular person, please stick and focus on that person, grow them. If you feel like maybe there's something that they don't have, ama they don't look good maybe wearing the particular clothes that they wear, and you like a particular kind of cloth, encourage them to start wearing what you like, buy them what you think they need. If you like women that don't do a lot of makeup, encourage them and continue speaking positive into their lives, and just allow them to know that they're beautiful, so that when they do away with makeup, they feel nice. They know before everyone else tells me anything, my husband is comfortable with me. You know, there is need for you to invest. We have always said that marriage is work, but it is work because, of course, a lot of things need to be done. Okay, as women, do you even know how to cook? If you don't know, can you start learning? If you don't like ugali like I used to when I was single, I had to learn how to cook ugali because I didn't know. What if I would have been married to a Luo man who they love ugali, or a Jaluo one that they will eat ugali and samaki and omena? And where I'm coming from, I had never eaten omena until I was 20, I think 5. Yeah, so I'd never eaten omena at our home. But of course, now I needed to learn how to cook it. And I learned and I knew how to do it from friends, of course. And there's that thing that you really don't like. But what if when you get married, that is the favorite meal for your spouse? So you need to be diversified. You need to learn yourself how to cook, how to just clean up your home. You know, ladies, if you're the type that wakes up and you don't even take care of your bed, and because your mind tells you that when we get married, we will employ a house help. And that is a good vision, but what if the first maybe 2-3 years of marriage, because there are no kids, what if your spouse says that we are not employing anyone? If you need someone to help you, maybe we will be calling the lady wakufua, mama fua, to just do the clothes. So you are the one to take care of everything else during the day, because of course, we don't have kids. We don't stay in the house all the time. You're going to work, he's going to work. So you guys just meet in the evening, and you have to keep your house in order. So what about that? Or what if you don't have the resources to actually get that help, yet you need the help? You're there saying, me, I won't learn. I will have the help. The help will do it. I can't have short nails. I need nails that are here. How will you cut and cook and prepare food? You know. You're there thinking that, marriage is when I get married, I will be being bought for flowers every day. My friend. That's what we're talking about. Prepare yourself. Stop being so in that fantasy world. Most of us are just fantasizing about things. And when we get into marriage, when the real things are happening, when things are happening, you're there wondering what just happened. I married the right man. What just happened? I married the right woman. What just happened? And one thing, let me just now finish by saying this, then I just conclude. When we were dating with my husband, there was a way I used to carry myself, because you know what? Tunaenda kupatana, so I look nice. I am forever dressed nice. I'm forever having my boobs, with the right bra, so the push-up is doing its thing. So when we're meeting, I'm looking nice. I might not have had makeup done, but of course I was looking nice. He was always meeting the part of me that was looking really, really good. I had dreadlocks, so even when I had not done retouch, kuna venye tu, I used to just make sure that they look nice, and if I don't want to repair them, I do my something, just looking good. Okay? And then we get married, and you're there. So you're woken up. This is how I usually look when I wake up. This is how I look, And he was not used to that, because he's used to me looking forever good. My boobs are always lifted, so they have the push-up bra. Now he sees them for what they are, And a lot of changes happen during that place of you guys knowing one another, If you're the kind of man that will marry the women that usually wear the what are these called? Body shapers. And when you're meeting them, they have the figure 6, but then the figure 8. And when they come at home, when you guys are already married, they remove the thing and you see the belly is falling. And that is the person that you said, I do too. When you are meeting them, they are looking nice. Maybe you guys didn't get the opportunity to just tell each other the truth and unveil all these weaknesses, but they're there. So now you get to see the person for who they really are. Are you prepared to deal with such things, Because I think when you're getting into marriage, the person you are dating just changes, They become now the real version of themselves. Are you ready to handle that version? You need to also be prepared about that. When you're dating someone that does these things, Even if you like people that do makeup and they're looking sleek and they have the human hair, do you know when the human hair is removed, there are usually lines down there? Will you love that person with the lines without the human hair? Because those are some of the things we need to discuss. They won't forever sleep with the human hair because they don't want to ruin it. They will have to remove it in the evening. Yeah, so we like that version, but we won't sleep with that version. It has to be removed. The makeup has to go when you're sleeping. You won't sleep with the makeup because it will affect the skin. So you need to be prepared for that thing. Yeah, so don't ingia tu kwa marriage and thinking everything will work, everything is going the way heaven and earth is. No, you need to be practical. You need to also be earthbound. You need to be real. Okay, this body needs to take care of itself. You know, women stink as well. We smell funny. When you're dating, you will not hear that person doing that. You will not hear them fart. You will not maybe hear how bad their poo smells because they will hardly poo when you are around. But when you get into the house, now you come to see the real version of themselves. So you need to be prepared also to deal with that because it is real and it is what is happening and that is who they are. You will not change them. So of course you need to be prepared. Prepare in that level. Prepare also in reading books because there is what you will learn and it can help you. It can maybe help you avoid and prevent conflicts in your marriage. How do you deal with conflicts, such things, but also be very practical. Okay, men, remember, prepare early. Start buying those things early so that when this woman comes, they have something. And women, don't forget that you will not all marry rich men. Some of you will marry men that are not very well stable. So if you are in that place of just preparing yourself as well in your singlehood, invest also on those things. Because when you come together, no one will know you are the one who bought unless your friends now who will come. And the ujanja with that one, if I can help, is maybe you change the seat covers so that it looks like they're new seats, but of course maybe they're the ones that you're working with. But you can also invest for the sake of your relationship, especially with electronics. I hope you have learned something about being prepared. So take your time, invest, prepare, yeah, and be real. Marriage is about two people who are real, who are broken, who are everything bad, that are just coming together and making sure that their marriage works and their marriage is good. So it is an investment from both sides. It is work from both sides. Everyone is compromising something just to make the marriage work. The institution itself to blossom, the marriage itself to have its value, and for all of us to gain and to borrow from the other spouse and be blessed. Thank you so much for staying tuned. My name is Marian Ndung'u. See you on the next vlog. Bye bye.